Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today is Creep on June day 6. I have a very simple project. It's not something that, it's not a tutorial, because the chances of you finding something like this at the thrift store are not very, like, I didn't think I would. I went to the thrift store after work and I found an entire box of these wonderful vintage glass slides. They have like glass and these a little piece of paper and two little PCs. So I was playing around with them and printed out some crows on transparency, overhead transparency. My original idea, I was going to do like Tracy Fox did last year when she did the faux daguerreotype, but then the crow isn't, you can't see it from both sides, and I thought it was really cool to be able to see it from both sides. You do get a little bit of the metal paper that comes in the slide on the back side. I suppose I could leave it out. And maybe I will on this one. Maybe I will. And I also discovered if you leave the glass out, your crocodile will put a rivet in it, which works with the poem, because the poem for today says, pardon me, it's really small. I will try to read it. I printed it out like 6 to a page in order to try to get it small enough to fit on the side of that, but it's still too big. So I need to figure out a way to get that on there. But it says, shadowy, shadowy, yet unbroken is a symbol and a token. Now it hangs upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries. And what better thing to hang than a dangle? So, you know, I probably wouldn't have done something like that, except I found these at the thrift store and I went, oh, a dangle. Yeah, so let's try it without, like, it will be super simple, because basically all it is sliding my acetate in so that it fits inside the window the way that I want, and stick that on top the way that I want. They seem so simple, but they're tremendously hard to put together. And one of the things I kind of liked about having that paper on there, well, for one thing, I could cover this little bit of extra crow here that I don't want. And I do need to trim off a bit of Mr. Poe's head. This is just from an AI generation, and they're generous with their stuff. They give you lots of extra. So I think I am going to glue that paper on there. The trickiest thing is for me to try to figure out which way it goes. It's like, that way, that way. That way. There, that way. And then it will be covered like so. Okay, I need to cut a bit of this side off as well. So that would go like that. And then that goes like that. Yes. And come out without breaking. Just going to add a little bit of Barely Arts along the edges of this paper thing. Being careful that I don't get it onto the acetate. And like so. And then you'd think this would be really easy. There you go. All right, like so. I could try to glue down, but I don't actually think I need to, because that the brad will hold it all in place. And I'm going to use my larger hole punch. Watch this. This is metal. This is, boom. Just boom. Went through that like butter. Like, unbelievable. And then one of my little bronzy coppery oh, let's use silver, because that's silver. That makes more sense. Let's use silver. And will that fit? No. That will not. That's too big. And unlike paper, I can't just go smoosh, smoosh, smoosh and hope it fits, because like it's not gonna make that any bigger. And I think these are all the same size. Oh no, that one's smaller. That one is definitely smaller. Now, the other thing that I can do, because this is a little bit gappy because of the glass not being in there. So, the same thing as what I did with my baby brads when I wanted them tighter, is I'm just going in with my flat pliers and just smooshing that a little bit down so that it doesn't have that big gap in it. Oh, and now looking at it, I see that there's like a little hole. Another option that I could have gone with, but I like this option. It amused me to put that brad in. And it also grunges it up by smooshing it down a little, which I kind of like. There's a little pinhole up at the top. So I could have come through one of these 2 pinholes with a bulb pin and put that through. And I am going to see what happens. Yeah, I still have enough of that crow face. Move. There, crow face. Let's try to get the lid off the alcohol ink. Because I live in Canada, that has a safety lid, which makes them basically impervious to adults. Kids can get into things with safety lids, just us adults, we can't. Let's give this a bit of distress. Make it look a little less like silver. If I had some of that like foundry wax stuff that Tim Holtz put out, that would be so cool to use on this, like that. Probably like the, I don't know, I think I would use probably the bronze one maybe. I think he has a bronze one. I don't even know what colors they come in. Oh, I like that. I really want this little label on here. Ooh. And actually it will work. What I will do is I will trim a sliver off of this side because it's got some extra length. And then a sliver off the top side. And just kind of notch those corners a little so it looks a bit like a label. And that will fit. Put it that way. Oh. Grunge that up as much as we can. Again, sorry about the arm. I have so much stuff on my desk right now, partly because of Creep on June, and it's like, I'm trying to put away as much stuff as I can right at the moment. I had that go under there. And of course, now that there's glue on it, it won't. Come on. Behave yourself. So what I did is I went through I used to make stitch markers and sell them on Etsy. So I have all kinds of things that I've kind of been collecting. I have broken jewelry. I have not broken jewelry. It could actually work just as it is. That not really a cross. That's broken. These are, I'll probably use like the red one of these, maybe not the blue. I made these. These are my own. I also have these that I made. I think these are really fun. So I might use these. I have a little jar and then some jump rings and more jump rings. Because one of the things that you will have to do a dangle are jump rings. And a chain, which is one of the reasons that I brought out this stuff. I've got my pliers, which I will need to open jump rings and close them. I want this. That whole thing. I really kind of like that. So I think that's going to be kind of like my starting point. And then what I'm going to do is put a larger jump ring through my eyelet. I could put a smaller one, but I don't think it would fit. All right. You could leave this open and put everything onto it before you close it, but I think realistically for this, and you really want to make sure that this little gap is closed as much as you can, otherwise stuff might fall off. And it's a little bit tricky on this because there's not a lot of space to make sure that that gets tightened up. That won't give me a lot of room on there, but probably what I'll do now is I'll put another jump ring on there, and then everything can adhere to that other jump ring. So let's add a chain that things can adhere to. Now that's really long for a dangle at the back of a journal. This piece of chain is about, I don't know, maybe 16 inches. This one is okay. I think that's fine. So what I'm going to do, you can see most chains have a little split in the links. So what you just want to do is take your pliers and twist the links apart. And it can be a little tricky, especially if the links are shaped like this one is. I'm going to do this off camera. Helps if you take your glasses off and get it right up inside your face. All right. And those are different lengths, which is good. I think if you're building a dangle, it would be good to have like multiple lengths for different interests. Oh, and then I like this little black thing too. Okay. So I'm going to just put this part way through this other. Going to put this, listen to me, just do what I say. There we go. That looks like it's pretty shut. So 2 little dangles. I also have this like kind of like a cameo, and I think that could be Lenore, right? So we have our raven and we have Lenore. If you do something like this, just try to think of staggering things so that they're not all on the same level, and just go for it. Just put things where you want and what looks to you to be pleasing. It's much like junk journaling. There's no right or wrong. Well, now there will be a right or wrong because I have a right side up with the cameo, so I will need to pay attention to that. And I am reusing, although I have a whole bunch of jump rings, I'm reusing what's coming out of the, or off the jewelry, just because I can. And it's less wasteful. Some things like this one don't have jump rings, so I can take that little bauble off the bottom, but I might lose the integrity of... Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much solid. So although that would be really cool, I don't know that I can use it. So I'm going to move that off to the side. I'm going to move that off to the side because I'm not going to use that. Ah, I can use one of these though. Let's put that on there. I kind of like to lay things out. Like if I was making a necklace, for example, I would lay everything out and kind of look at it and see if I like the layout and colors and whether it looks cohesive. So I'm thinking if I'm doing a dangle, it would be about the same kind of thing. That one. Let's take the bigger ring off because we're not using those to mark our knitting. No, we are not. And then I have a little jump ring on there, which we can use. Up. Make sure that's closed. I'm sorry if this seems like I'm faffing. Part of it is that this is how I create, that I lay things out and I'll have an idea in my head and I'll put it together and I'll go, no, that just doesn't work for me. And then I need to change it. Yeah. So this will go on the top. That will adhere to my journal, like so. And then, no, a little bit of chain. You can also buy chain in large quantities on places like Etsy and yeah, any of that kind of thing. But I have chain, so I might as well use what I have. Feel like I'm not actually going to use that because this is black, this is black, this is black, this isn't, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that silver on there now. I like it as a dangle, but so then if I add that bronze, it's just too many different. The other thing is I could use this to adhere that. That is really, really tiny and will be challenging to get a jump ring through though. So there's this one. Like so. And all right. Yeah, that's taking shape. And then let's put, oh no, wait. I did that backwards. That wasn't how I wanted to do it. I wanted to dangle the other way around. I wanted to put the, yes, this goes here and not on there yet. You're probably all yelling at me, no, not that way, not that way. That way. Like so. One of the things that I really like about junk journaling, and probably what drew me to it in the first place, is I have all these different hobbies, things that I do, like jewelry making and yeah, all of that. And it brings everything I like to do together. And I am now going to move Lenore further down. That didn't take forever. No, it did not. I'm going to put Lenore on the bottom. One of the reasons I moved to this is Lenore and the Raven were exactly at the same height, and I don't like that. So it doesn't fall off. I like to use my flat pliers for doing this because I don't know if you can see how banged up that little jump ring is already. But if you can use pliers without the little ridges on them, you won't get as much, like it won't notch out your jump rings as badly. All right. And then let's put one of these red ones. About there. Like so. Try to get that shut. And then, should I put this on there? Yes. I am going to put this on there. I really like the spine dangles that have like lots of interest to them. All right, that looks like and everything needs a little jar of, well, maybe that's our spirit jar from yesterday. Another thing that I think with dangles like this is to try to keep things at multiple different levels, but fairly consistent levels, shall we say. Oh, that won't work. That's a link from that. So that's a jump ring. I'd figured out where that was going. About there-ish. I like to have things at multiple different levels. It kind of moves my eye up and down, whatever it is. Like, I'm thinking more like jewelry than a junk journal page. But definitely, if you're doing a junk journal page, you kind of want to keep your eye moving into things and into whatever your focal point is. So, let's have a look. Yeah, see, you can't see, but look at how good that would look on a spine. Like, because you've got like all kinds of different things hanging at all kinds of different levels, and none of it really interferes with anything else, which I think is important. So I will clear my desk and show you what it looks like. So this is my first one. This was kind of my prototype to see if it would work. It's got the glass in it from the slide. So you could like glue that down to something journal cover, whatever, probably rough it up with alcohol ink to give it some grunge. Then this is the second one. I took the glass out and put an eyelet in, and was really quite happy to see that the crocodile would go through that 2 levels of metal. I guess it's only the one. And then that made me think of Dangles. Well, the whole thing. I was thinking of Dangles from the very beginning because of the poem and the fact that it says that, oh, I put that upside down. How it hangs upon the trees. Well, this hangs upon the spine of our junk journal, which could be a tree. I don't know. And yeah, that's my make for day 6, even though this video is going up on day 7. And until next time, I hope you have a really lovely crafty day. Bye.